What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 Disappearing Civs AI only battle. Nearly messed it up. We're getting towards the next disappearing event. It's probably going to be midway through the next episode or something awkward when we hit turn 150. Now I'm doing these longer ones, so I'm not sure how exactly I'll work that out, but I'll figure something out. I can even set it up so we do it mid-episode, because we're not going to look at the info addicts till turn 200, so we don't have to do a separate episode or anything where there's the awkward cutting between the different games. We could probably just do it mid-episode for the 150 one. But I guess if anyone else has any ideas, you can let me know. I don't actually know if I'll have time, so I've probably recorded the next episode. But yeah, I think if there's any strong objections, then obviously I can go back and change it afterwards. But yeah, I think it'll be fine just to do it mid-episode if we were to hit 150. I'm not exactly sure. We might fall just short. The game is going... It's probably the slowest game I've ever done. We're not going to make it. I would say turn 250 at this point is probably going to be the end again, as usual. And that might be pushing it, because this game is definitely going the slowest of any we've ever done. And I think it is to do with the map. I think it is the biggest map. Whenever I use this map, it probably happens. But it's fine. It is a lot bigger than the other one. There is a really big one, which is really realistic, and it would be fun to do, but it's almost too big. I would need to use 60 civs, and at that point my PC just can't take it. There is a bigger one that's it looks amazing in terms of detail. This is the middle one. And then there's obviously the normal one I use that's the weird shaped one, but it does genuinely... It makes it a bit more exciting, in my opinion. Europe's more competitive, because it feels bad leaving out some of the big name civs in Europe. And I can never seem to get it quite right. Whenever I leave someone out, whoever is next to them just always does really well. It's always just awkward. But yeah, I'd love to do a 60 civ world game where I really go for getting it right. But obviously I'd need to come up with some other sort of unique twist. I don't think we can just keep doing world games forever. There'd have to be something in there to make it a bit more interesting. Although I don't know, what are the recent games I have done? Let me scroll through here. Mongolia v the Khazar. That is not good news for the Khazar. Texas just managed to freeze the game. Oh, it might be the World's Congress. The globe's still spinning. So yeah, I'm guessing this is the World's Congress. Potentially. Please don't crash. Well, this is a perfect time then for me to go and check just what are the recent series we did. I shouldn't have forgotten, but because the previous one was obviously... Was that a world map too? Yeah, that was an old world map, but it wasn't 60 civs, was it? I don't think so. No, we had the one before was 60 civs, and that was a Deity Europe though with 60 civs, wasn't it? Although I didn't use all 60. I don't know, to be honest. My memory not as good as it should be. Yep, there we go. There's the World's Congress. At least it's not broken. What are they proposing first? Is anyone getting unfairly banned of anything? No, not yet. Not quite yet. So we did the old world one. Wow, I put out a lot of episodes. I've scrolled. My finger's getting tired, and it's been 2 months worth of videos, and that's it. Deity Europe, and I don't think that was 60 plus either. Before that, I keep thinking I'm past it, and you see another thumbnail and you're like, oh nope, what was going on this time? Oh, before that we did a 60 civ world battle. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, so we can't just go straight back into a 60 civ world battle, as much as I like to do them. And obviously there is a big one planned, of course, that I'm going to try and work on. I will work on it at some point. To just sit down at some point and do it. Try and get the mods to work, or when this series is done, I might just uninstall and reinstall Civ and hope that it would reinstall all the mods again. But then there's also a chance we get none of them back. That was my sort of fear of doing that approach. That is probably the easier approach. But if not, I'll just I've got a link now that I can use to sort of install them manually, and hopefully it won't break anything. Because when I installed Vox Populi manually about 2 years ago, we couldn't have any Civ 5 videos for a month and a half afterwards, because the game just wouldn't open, even if I reinstalled. So that was fun, having to search through all files. I'm not like a computer expert. I don't know what I'm doing, really. Not the typical young person. I can do stuff within the programs, but once you take it outside and behind the scenes of the programs, I got no idea what's going on, to be honest. Inca versus California. Okay, well that was always going to happen, wasn't it? I think California could be fine here. I don't see the Incans grabbing this one unit at a time. I mean, California don't have any units to defend, but the mountains. And then Shoshone v California, that's a little worse. Now, it's going to be a huge battle between the boats. Slight edge to the Shoshone tech-wise, but yeah, I don't know who exactly is going to come out on top here. California is obviously protected on the land side of things, so it'll be interesting. We'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, I don't know if California will lose too much here. I think they can look out for themselves here, but I may be completely wrong, of course. Wouldn't be the first time. Shoshone, yeah, starting to move around, but yeah, I mean, California actually probably have more boats. It's just that theirs are not as good. Caravels is certainly not the ideal military boat to be using, so we'll see what they can do with those. Parthia did finally settle at some point, just between the end of the last episode and now, in the gap that was left by the Harappa. It's mostly actually been filled. Siam's borders are slowly growing into it. Obviously, this city as well was settled by China over the ruins of another city that used to be here for the Harappa. Japan pieces out with China, so that was pretty short-lived. So the three Asian power civs are at peace again, and Britain has declared war on the Romans. Does that matter? Not really. Privateers, I mean, that's better boats than we were just talking about for the Shoshone, but I don't think again, it's a small gap. I don't think they'll get down here. And Rome has their own boats, not as great, but they'll be able to defend themselves, I'm sure. So this is finally the Ottomans starting to do some damage. The Huns, I guess, must have got in at some point, and I've forgotten. So yeah, this could spiral pretty badly for the Goths. They probably, I think the Goths, if they're going to lose it, would rather the Ottomans get it. I don't see the Ottomans walking all the way around here, because if the Huns get it, then their capital feels a bit more exposed. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter, but yeah, that would be interesting. Obviously, Sweden and Prussia have come to an end of their war, so we'll see what they do next. And France is just here. They are, yeah, I think they've failed here against Rome, I'm afraid. Rome's still a bit too strong for now. Brazil not looking so good. I just can't believe Brazil isn't really doing anything. I mean, their cities are huge. They got 3 very good sized cities, but all of this was available. Like, what are you doing? Canada is now going to grab a city down here as well. It's good for them. How are the Mayans? They managed to grab Cuba here pretty easily, and I'm guessing they might even get this city too. And there you go, the Khazar were eliminated just there by Mongolia. So they're still growing, which is good, because China's not grown for a while. In fact, they got weaker. So, China needs to do something soon. So is Japan, We're letting them off the hook. Okay, no, they just settled Hiroshima here. So a new city, and the Kulin up here as well. So the Pacific is going to be very interesting. Got Russia, the Shoshone. I'm very excited for this once we get to sort of battleships and planes. What's going to be going on. And Japan with a settler heading into the deep ocean. Judging by where their boats are and where they might have explored, I would guess this is maybe going to Hawaii. But, I don't know, there's pearls here, but not much else. I don't know. But yeah, I guess they're probably going to come out this way. So they do have some cities in Western Australia. Despite being like the closest cities to the Kulin, they are still really far away. Like if this was over in Europe, we would think this is the biggest gap ever. Which is weird to think about. There's no gap this big in Europe. This open space, in fact, this open space is probably bigger than all the civs in Europe, bar like some of the major ones. Morocco versus Rome. Okay, so it doesn't get better, and that might make this city at more risk, although it also cuts England off more. So kind of a trade-off. California joins against Canada. No, sorry, Canada joins against California. Oh yeah, the Shoshone's fighting the Iroquois. That broke out at the end. Completely forgot. And they are starting to make some progress. Kulin complete the Uffizi. But yeah, Canada shouldn't be able to do too much to California. California's on the other side of the ocean as well. Texas now the settler heading down south. How is California doing so far? They're actually doing damage to this city impressively. But yeah, we should see the Iroquois start to crumble a bit soon. And Japan and... Oh, Attila, are you sure? Okay, Russia's in the way, but you should be focusing on the Goths right now, Attila. But Japan again versus Mongolia. We'll see how this goes. Japan feeling confident. And actually, they might just grab this city out of, being here. Like, Mongolia might just not have time to get back and defend this. But then the mountain range, I think, will protect the rest of Mongolia, who may actually end up picking up this city off the Huns. Maybe there's a free city for them there at least. It's better than nothing, I guess. Indonesia still fighting on. They got a settler up. Oh, it's finally left. That's been there since the start of the game. It's finally moved. Don't know where it's going, but there you go. They're doing some cool stuff. Trading Where is that? Is that going to Mecca? I can't obviously scroll anymore. It sucks. This map's like, the maps are too big that you can't see the whole trade routes. I wish there was a way you could just keep going, but it won't let me. Rome and Egypt peace out. I don't think anything big happened there. And Rome and France peaced out. And yeah, nothing changed hands. So Rome survived that scare for now. But France will rebuild. They're still probably the strongest in Europe. Look at all these cities. I said Brazil were doing good. I mean, France is doing way better if I'm using population of cities as the judge. Which I probably wouldn't expect Brazil. Yeah, I mean, technology suggests France are ahead too. Why not? Why not? Is there anyone we've not really spoken about? Arabia and Persia. What are you guys up to? Arabia is fighting off Siam at the moment pretty successfully. Doesn't look like they're suffering too much from that. They're in a really good spot here. These cities are so awkwardly placed, like right on the bits where the sea turns. So they can still shoot over the sea, but not get attacked very easily across the sea. So it's kind of a double whammy defense from these cities. Really strong. And obviously there's a mountain in the way of that one as well. And it's a wonder. There's just plenty of bonuses there. Although Arabia didn't actually get their own religion in this game, which is probably annoying for them. And then again, this city's pretty safe. It's coastal. And at the moment, no one's doing much with boats. We've only really seen boats be super effective. I guess when Rome first broke into Africa, they helped. But up here, the undefended, 20 defense Iroquois cities, which, was not that difficult. They were being conquered with caravels and stuff, which is not a normal occurrence. They were just incredibly weak cities. And again, this one, very safe. There's no one else with access to this sea. The Zulu are in the way. Don't imagine they're in a rush to give anyone open borders or need to have open borders with anyone. They're just sort of sat here on their own, doing their own thing. And they do just complete the Taj Mahal wonder. They have plenty of units, but they do have a big border. So, it's kind of, doesn't always work out for you. Can be awkward and difficult. Next turn 134. Quite a lot has happened so far. 4 civs have completely vanished, and even more, I think, have been destroyed. Just in the game, not by me. France versus Greece, not too important. The Ottomans, them and the Huns, they're both so close to finally conquering a city, and they just, I don't know, what are they doing? Just taking their eyes off the ball a bit. But yeah, Ottomans v Greece, I don't know if this will go too well for the Ottomans, but we'll see. Hopefully, it goes okay for them. I mean, no offense to Greece, but they're kind of wasting everyone's time at this point by being here. There's a few civs in that boat. Britain isn't really contributing too much. I don't know if Sweden, I mean, I'll give credit to Sweden because they're doing okay with technology, but I don't know if they're going to go on. I don't really know what they do from here. You're not going to attack any of these people anymore, are you? Same with Greece, you know what I mean? They're just not going to do anything. America's another one. You're just waiting for them to go at this point, and it's more about who than anything else. Who takes them out? I nearly said America. Just looking at them. The Songhai goes autocracy, and they are the next civ to get an ideology. A few turns behind the other 3. I think, who are the other 3? The Zulu is also autocracy, and then Kulin and Japan are order. So again, sort of a communism sort of focused approach out in the east part of the world. And then in the central part of you've got the Americas, if you say the Americas are the west, and then central is Europe and Africa. East is Asia and Oceania. I think that's clear enough to explain. Center, and I guess in Africa as well. You don't know if Europe's going to go the same way, but definitely a more autocratic approach taken over here, which is quite interesting. I wonder if there'll be that divide. I'd love a world where all the Europeans also went autocracy, and then all of these civs went communist, and then all the Western ones went freedom or something. That would be pretty interesting. I don't think we'll get that, sadly. Freedom is almost never chosen. There's a few civs that will pick it for specific reasons, but beyond that, we don't get it too often, I'm afraid. Okay, what next? What is going to be the next big event? I'm trying not to miss. There is a lot going on. There's a big boat battle going on off the coast of California. How are these cities holding up? The Incans are doing damage. They've snuck a cannon in, but once the cannon's dead again, I don't know if they have enough. Especially if they can get the crossbowmen in here, although Canada's boats will be hurting as well. Maybe 1 or 2 of these cities falls. Maybe. I mean, they're pretty weak, so there is still a chance, I guess. If you just keep hitting them and they're not hitting you back, eventually, I guess, they might come away with something. Japan is trying against this city so hard. They have some trebuchets. They could have done with cannons. but they don't have any, I'm afraid. The Ottomans, the next civ into the industrial era, certainly doing okay. They're just below like good tier. Like they need to just do something that will push them in to like, if they took out Arabia, then all of a sudden they're in like the amazing tier of the top civs kind of thing. There's a few civs that are just, they need to do something good to break into it. Russia's probably still just outside of it. I think that's just because we've seen them lose already. Maybe they should probably be in there on stats, but obviously I haven't seen the stats for a while, so I wouldn't know. Canada's another one. I mean, Canada probably is in the good tier again, but I don't know if we can quite give them the credit for it just yet. Whereas the Shoshone, the Zulu, Songhai at this point, I think have probably earned it, to be fair. They're pretty big. The Kulin are in there. Would be tempted to throw Japan in there just because they're starting scenario. I think maybe you can give them a bit of a bonus points for that one where they started. France is another one I'd consider pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't compared them. Maybe that's me being harsh. Siam's definitely up there as well, although they're a bit spread out at the moment. So we'll see. The Ottomans pieced out with Rome. Yeah, nothing changing hands in the peace deal, but yeah, that's a good move. Obviously, they grabbed this city, which I certainly think's a good move. So that's good. Oh, this city, why? It was so close. It's not that I have anything against the Goths, but it would have been great for the Ottomans or the Huns to conquer this, and it's just not happening for them. Shoshone fighting on two fronts and having a bit of success. Let's see what this turn brings for them. Can they grab either of these? I feel like they've got this one. Nope, into the red. And Los Angeles is starting to drop, and they have privateers and frigates starting to show up. That's a big blow to California. This could get a little painful. And the Inca also managed to grab Fresno here. So yeah, now it might start to fall apart for California. Maybe I jinxed them a little bit there. And the biggest war so far, probably. I mean, I don't know. The Shoshone Texas one was big, but nothing really happened. And that was a lot earlier in the game. But this one is huge. That is for certain. The Zulu versus Egypt. I mean, this city's going to fall. Probably Egypt's got good technology. They've got frigates. They've got some good units, although at the moment they're pretty distracted. Okay, these cities are doomed, right? This one's doomed. This one's probably doomed as well. I mean, look at the units around it already. But these two, I think, could survive. And I mean, that's probably not enough for Egypt. But I think they could defend themselves, at least in this war. They might get through this one. That would be my take. I might be wrong. Don't know what you guys are thinking. I'm pretty sure the Zulu have a massive advantage against everyone, military manpower-wise. I just saw the list, their score advantage. Yep, there you go. But Egypt's here in 10th. I mean, they have about half, just under half. But they've got less territory to defend. A lot of the Zulu stuff is far away. A lot of this stuff won't actually be in the war. Egypt will probably have to bring everything. So it might. I've got some hope for them. Through the mountains, you know, yeah, come on. You've got to have faith. And maybe the Songhai would protect them too, but they seem pretty occupied at the moment. In the north, Athens is under siege. Didn't Rome? Okay, it looks like Rome might be in this as well. I thought they had pieced out, but I guess all the other peace deals mean Rome can now try and conquer Greece. If they come out of this with more cities, I mean, obviously they lost 3 in North Africa, so that can't happen. But if they come out of this with a couple more, then they're certainly showing that they are quite a flexible civ. Having their ups and downs, just lose a bit here, we'll gain a bit here. That's fair enough. Respect it. The Inca, yes, okay, not so much damage done this turn, but they are doing a little bit of damage, making things a little bit uncomfortable there. Japan, is that another new city? No. Oh, there we go, the Kulin did settle. These are some great names, very creative. Oh, and the Shoshone have hopped across the Bering Strait, I think so, I don't know, over here, and have arrived. How is this city at 2 and this at 1? I guess more sea tiles. There we go, the Shoshone arrive across and into the Pacific as well, and they're going to play a big role in this. It's not just about Japan, China, well, Mongolia is not coastal, but Japan and China and others, who I'm again really excited for all these civs to get the, you know, the boats, the artilleries, the units that really make wars more effective. Okay, this might be bad news for Indonesia, I'm afraid. Yeah, not looking so good as the first time where they held up pretty well. This time Jakarta will probably fall, which will be a big gain for the Kulin. A 16 population city is certainly nothing to complain about. How are the Shoshone? Oh, it's the Shoshone's turn now. They should certainly be getting this city And the Iroquois finally starting to crumble, but Canada's still making no progress. There's no excuses anymore. This is getting a bit embarrassing for Canada, I'm afraid. And, oh, there we go. Akwesasne. Yeah, there we go. So Shoshone grabbed the first Iroquois city, and things starting to just topple a little bit. Not looking so good. Right, California, go on. This is your big turn. Fight back. Show them what you've got. Gives away all their cities in a peace deal. Wouldn't surprise me. Texas, very quiet at the moment. I know they have a settler out there, and since they took out the Aztecs, I mean, they're certainly not pushovers by any means, but the Shoshone's growth just makes it hard to see them coming back from that. And yeah, I mean, the fact they haven't gone after America yet or something, a little bit concerning for Texas. Maybe doubting their own abilities a little bit. I don't know. Oh, they could do the coastal city. They don't have one. I mean, they have this, but it's a puppet, so they can't build boats. But yeah, they could do with some sort of coastal city. I mean, this on the Atlantic side, obviously there's no crossing or anything, so that they could go after the Mayans. But yeah, they're struggling without that at the moment. They do have a settler coming down this way, which will help, but it certainly isn't. It's not going to be good enough. Just one city that's probably going to have low production for quite a long time. The Zulu, yep, already with 2 cities in the green. Egypt will at least preserve themselves a couple of turns with some of the units they have around. See what they can do. Little bit of damage here and there to stay alive. And they're actually still pushing up here. That's very worrying to see. How on earth are they going to protect themselves from that? I don't know. Maybe they're just going for broke. They're going for that Rome strategy. Well, we'll lose everything down there. We'll just conquer stuff up here. Sadly, I don't think it's going to work out for them. Athens is getting very low. There's a chance. I mean, it'd be great if the Ottomans could grab this. It would make their borders look very nice and connected again. I mean, they're connected here, but even more. I wish they had a land connection. Do you have a great general somewhere? Just come put a citadel down here. I understand it would annoy Arabia, but it would make the borders look a bit better. Oh, Parthia all of a sudden with a new city. Took a while, but there you go. That's pretty cool. They're still here, and they might not do too much, but they're certainly going to be awkward if someone wants to clear them out. Like, they've got plenty of units that they're just building up over time. It's certainly not going to be easy if you want to get rid of them. Zoroastrianism is doing very well. Who founded this? Okay, Persia did, okay. Yeah, it's doing very well. Particularly, well, no, it's a little bit of Arabia. Islam's here. Is this the Songhai? No. Where did this come from? I cannot remember. It's because different people to normal have founded them all. I have no idea who's founded some of these. Catholicism is up here. Yeah, I don't know who founded Islam in this game. Is it Morocco? No. Wasn't the Songhai. It wouldn't have been Ethiopia. Was it the Zulu? No. No. Not the Congo. I don't know who it was. Somebody did it though. And Arabia has it. Maybe Arabia did it and then lost it. I don't. It's only in a few cities. Wait, is it Egypt? No. I'm so lost. There just can't be just to be a random religion somewhere. Okay, we'll have a look. Oh, but it didn't show up, did it? The religion overview is all weird. No world religions. Beliefs. Yeah, I have no idea who founded that then. What the heck? That's weird. Oh, the Garamantes. Yes, there you go. Okay. I knew there was one more civ I was forgetting, but there we go. Got there in the end. Nervous times. It's really difficult when that menu doesn't say who founded what, but there we go. I'm trying. Okay, turn 136. Maybe a bit longer actually till we get to the next info ad. It's only on 7 turns in 25 minutes. It's very slow now. But it's actually quite exciting for once. Some of the other battles, there's a lot of time where it's quick, but there's nothing going on. Athens is falling. So the Ottomans, is it? We'll find out here, I guess. Or in the yellow. Now it's Rome's turn, so they don't have any melee units, but they might put it lower. Yep. It's certainly going to fall next turn to the Ottomans. California's still defending themselves pretty well. Shoshone's too spread out. You should be going for one city at a time, I think. That's why they're struggling. Canada with a new effort, but no siege units. What are you doing? Not going to work out well for them. And the Mayans going after Atlanta here in Florida. Their borders would start to look pretty cool if they got this. Just sort of, a Latin America, Central American and Caribbean empire. That'd be kind of cool if we got to see that. Obviously, America still has Boston here. There's a citadel here, which will make it harder to grab. I mean, this is pretty safe. I don't know who takes this out, because the Iroquois obviously... well, I don't think the Iroquois would anyway, but they're not coming over these lakes. Canada's eroded all the confidence I picked up in them early on in the game for their success down here. I guess it'll be the Shoshone or Texas at some point, and Texas has been pretty quiet recently, just not too interested. Jakarta, yeah, that is very close. That's probably one turn away from being a Kulin city. Japan pieced out again. No, they're still going at war. They pieced out with China at the start of this episode, but they're still going after Mongolia. Not too much success. Here we go. Ideology number 5. Sweden goes order. Okay, so there might be an interesting fight this game. I'm very surprised Sweden is 5th in the world to get an ideology. But there you go. Sweden, the fifth civ to build 3 factories. I mean, all 3 cities are pretty big, so I guess that's reasonable. They probably have coal. Oh, just thought of something I didn't do this game. I didn't add resources for everyone this game, so there's going to be some civs that just miss out on some of those resources again. Do feel bad for them. I think it was the last one where I gave everyone a bit of every strategic resource, which has benefits and downsides. Obviously, the Zulu would probably be loving it if I'd have done that, because they've conquered a few civs. They would have every resource right now. Indonesia does lose their capital. 1 city left, and it looks like Japan. I can't tell if Japan is just sat here or is doing something. I don't know, but I imagine they'll be eliminated fairly soon. But there we go. Jakarta falls. The Kulin keep doing well. And it's really hard to compare these civs. Obviously, all we have to do is look at the info addicts. But, to know who's doing... There's 3 in the Zulu, the Kulin, and the Shoshone, who I just can't tell who's the best. Like, they all... Because they're so far apart as well. Like, we'd never see them... We'll probably never see them fight. You might see the Kulin and the Zulu at some point in the future fight. But, like, the Zulu and the Shoshone probably have seen each other's capitals. And that's about it through, like, an embassy. Can't imagine there's much more than that in that sort of relationship there. Canada did settle about as far away from any other city in the world as possible. That they're obviously and it's invisible, so that's a great city. I assume it only went down this turn, so it's not loaded in quite properly. But there you go, Halifax down here. Which is funny. Halifax is like somewhere up here. I might be wrong, but I think it's somewhere around here. So it is literally about as far away within the New World as possible from its right position. Some of the cities, some of the settling's been pretty great. America's has been pretty good. In Washington, they went a bit north for New York. Boston's probably quite a bit too far west. But, I think some of these were okay. Maybe not, actually. These are pretty bad. I don't know. But, I don't know. Some of the civs sometimes do it okay. Is England? No, this is miles off. I mean, Manchester is definitely miles away. Leeds is a bit too far. So obviously this map makes it very distorted. I don't know. You'd probably put it like Leeds is here. I feel like putting London here is also wrong. Like London should probably be here. There should be like one more tile. Don't know. Birmingham is certainly wrong. So I don't really know other places, and some of them are using their old names, not their new names, so I have no idea. Some of these other ones are right, but there you go. We can only try our best. California, yeah, they're holding on to these ones better. But this one, yeah, I think that was just a perfect storm. Obviously, Canada's helping with these Galeuses. They did manage to squeeze a cannon through, and they sort of sacrificed it, but it did take a few shots and do some damage, so that worked out for them, I guess. Onondaga starting to fall, about 75% of its health left, and there you go, Atlanta does fall. America down to 1 city as the Mayans grab one. We're starting to see a lot of the smaller civs get removed. There's a chance that by turn 150, America could be gone. Probably not, but if someone attacked them, they might be gone. But more like Greece will be gone, for example. Maybe Indonesia. And obviously, when we make civs disappear, those will no longer be in contention. So the probability of a huge civ going becomes more likely, which could be could be interesting. You know, we're almost at a point where there's no civ that you'd say, oh, it wouldn't matter if they disappeared. It's going to matter, pretty much no matter. As long as it's not America, Greece, Indonesia, you know, everyone else has some role to play in what remains of this game. I guess England wouldn't matter too much, but France would just grab that stuff. Morocco and England are maybe a little bit above that. But everyone else, you feel like if they would completely disappear, the land that would be taken, it would be a big issue. Like, even Sweden disappearing would be pretty big. They've already got an ideology. Persia is a big one as well. Like, just Siam might go for it. We've already lost the Harappa in that region. It'd be even more empty. The Ottomans might just jump in there, and the Huns. So yeah, I think there's only a few small ones that you'd say if they went, and obviously there's a lot more that do matter now than those that don't. As opposed to the start, we weren't really sure who mattered and who didn't, and we never even got to see. But that'll be it for this episode. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Just looking at it, we'll probably do one more episode and then do the disappearing afterwards, because I think we'll probably hit 150 at like the end of the next one. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.